Now, we acknowledge that even though we are meeting virtually, this event usually happens at our boundary office at the traditional and unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples, in particular the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. And I would like to offer my gratitude and respect to the elders and say that we are very grateful to be able to live and work on their ancestral lands. Please join me in welcoming Latash Maurice Nahani, the elder from the Squamish First Nations, who is going to lead us in a traditional welcome tonight.
Asiam, Asiam, Tanoyap, Tanoan Siam and Siaya, Siyoyakwa, Tlachin Newman, Anhut and Squalawin, Nith to Uns, Lachash Kushamin, Tanad Lashan, Aslahan, no Kameo, Sko Omishoth, no Shayab Minmahat, Onmanaxton, Squalawin. Hayas, Manmans. Well, greetings to all of you. The name I carry is Lachash Maurice Nahani. I am from the Squamish Nation. I'm very honored to be with all of you, my dear friends, wishing peace to all of you. Welcome to the unceded traditional territory of the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. I'd like to share with you that, like many of you, my ancestors traveled from a long ways so that I could be here. And my great-grandfather came from Ireland. He came here over 150 years ago, and he married a native woman, and his son also married a native woman. And that's where my mother comes from. My other ancestor came from Hawaii, and his name was Nahinu. He traveled here to work for the Hudson's Bay and sought opportunity in a new land. So I'm very happy to share that kindred spirit with all of you and welcome you to this new land. I hope that everything is working out for you. I think that challenges are sometimes great, but they really tell us about how great that we are, that we can be strong enough to overcome many obstacles and have a fruitful and successful life. You are all champions in my mind. Congratulations for the awards, and some of you will receive tonight. I think all of you should be receiving an award. Each of you has a gift. In our culture, we believe that everyone has a gift. Many, many different gifts makes a strong community. And so we rely on everybody. We embrace our differences, and we believe that makes us a stronger community. So welcome to tonight's event. I'm very happy to have been asked to take part in this. My friends at MOSAIC, I wish you continued success. Thank you. Osia.
Hoichka, thank you so much, Latash. Thank you so much for your welcoming words and message, and thank you for being such a great friend to MOSAIC.
Well, thank you very much. My pleasure.
It is now my great privilege to welcome a special guest tonight. We are joined in person, well, through Zoom, by the Honorable Bardish Chagger, the Federal Minister for Diversity and Inclusion and Youth. It's already quite late in Ontario, so we really appreciate, Minister Chagger, that you are able to be here with us in person. So warm welcome, and Minister, I invite you to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Olga, for having me here today. I'm joining you from Waterloo, Ontario, the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Neutral people. And I really want to acknowledge the words of the elder, because everyone deserves an award and each of you is a gift. And I really loved that comment. And just so you know, Elder, I'll be borrowing those words from you and sharing them and spreading them wherever I go. So my thanks to you, Miigwech. And I hope that all of you are keeping well and staying safe. I'm happy to join you virtually for the MOSAIC Awards Ceremony. These awards recognize the many contributions and achievements of newcomer and refugee youth, as well as individuals and organizations that continue to support equity, diversity, and inclusion. Here in Canada, diversity has always been one of our greatest strengths. Yet, we must never forget that a multicultural society, one that is truly open and inclusive, is always a work in progress. It demands our effort, our attention, and our care. Ici au Canada, la diversité a toujours été l'une de nos plus grandes forces. Cependant, nous ne devons jamais oublier qu'une société multiculturelle, une société véritablement ouverte et inclusive, demande un travail continu. Elle exige nos efforts, notre attention et nos soins. In fact, our success as a nation depends on the contributions of newcomers and immigrants who take every opportunity to use their skills and creativity to prosper and to add to the rich cultural mosaic in Canada. Sadly, we know that the pandemic has affected all Canadians and disproportionately certain segments, including newcomers, immigrants, and youth. We've seen the realities of racism at the front of global and national attention. The Government of Canada fully denounces all forms of racism and discrimination, including anti-Black racism, anti-Indigenous racism, anti-Asian racism, anti-Semitism, and Islamophobia. That's why just last week, our government announced the 85 recipients of the Anti-Racism Action Program funding, which was really exciting to be able to share. 13 of these organizations are right in your province of British Columbia. During these challenging times and beyond, under the leadership of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, our government will continue to take concrete steps to confront systemic racism and discrimination in all of its forms. We will continue to do so in a way that is informed by lived experiences and by working with equity-seeking communities. Right now, many people are having an awakening about what is happening around the world and what their role is in building a consciously more inclusive Canada. And in many ways, it is young people, newcomers, community organizers, and all those on the ground that are coming together from coast to coast to coast to support one another. In fact, when the pandemic hit, MOSAIC worked quickly to adapt their services to meet with public health guidelines and ensure that you could continue to provide essential services to newcomers and refugees across British Columbia. That's one of the reasons I wanted to be here, to personally say thank you. Your efforts in offering interpretation services, translation services, employment services, intercultural competency training, and so much more during these challenging times are truly appreciated. On behalf of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and the Government of Canada, I want to thank all involved, including the organizers and volunteers, as well as congratulations to all recipients and applicants on their achievements. Thank you to each and every one of you for all you do. I hope that you are all proud of what you have accomplished thus far. I have no doubt that you will continue to help build an even stronger and consciously more inclusive Canada. I regret that I will not be with you the whole night, but I will be listening as long as I can. And I hope that you all keep well and safe. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much, Minister, for your very kind words. And thank you to you and your government for being such strong advocates for diversity and inclusion and working hard to make Canada a true place of belonging and being so consistent in your message that we are all stronger together. Thank you so much. Now, there is a significant process that unfolds behind the scenes to make these events and these awards possible. With this year, we received about 27 excellent nominations, and our awards committee had the difficult job of narrowing down and selecting the award recipients, and they rose to the occasion. So with that, I would now like to invite Wendy Ma, the chair of the MOSAIC Awards Committee, to say a few words.
Thank you, Olga. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. I'm delighted to see all of you here who joined us here for this evening for our awards ceremony. So MOSAIC is very proud to be able to present annual awards to support refugees and immigrants in helping them pursue educational and professional development endeavors. as well as taking the opportunity to recognize individuals and organizations who make significant contributions to support equity, diversion, and inclusion in our Canadian society. So as Olga mentioned, this year we had a difficult task of deciding amongst many excellent nominations for all of our 5 award categories. And we certainly saw many deserving applications and hope to be able to, perhaps in the future, mount more and larger awards to as many deserving recipients as possible. Perhaps at this point, I should encourage some of you to consider either you or your donations supporting the cause and making a donation to support MOSAIC Awards, especially if you feel after this evening that some of the stories you may hear from our candidates really resonate with you. So again, on behalf of the awards committee, congratulations to not only all of our award recipients for this year, but also all of the excellent nominees that we received. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. So without further ado, let's approach the first award of this evening. And I would like to invite Gillian Chetty to present the Dr. Kes Chetty Education Award, an award named after her late husband. Gillian.
Thank you, Olga. It's a great pleasure for me to be here and to be able to give you the background to this award. My husband, Dr. Kes Chetty, known to all his friends and family as Kes, was born in South Africa and was of Indian origin. He grew up under the repressive regime of apartheid, and due to the system, left there for London and immigrated to Vancouver in January 1970. Whilst not forgetting issues left behind in South Africa, indeed, he was very involved in the anti-apartheid movement there, working with the likes of Desmond Tutu and the South African Council of Churches. He quickly took a very active role in this community, becoming involved in issues of justice, of poverty, of literacy, of racism, and the many, many challenges that immigrants and refugees can face when coming to a new country. Giving back to the community was a strongly held value, and amongst many of his activities, he was on the MOSAIC board for a number of years before he died. After his death, now almost 29 years ago, a number of friends and family created this award, and it is given annually to people known to the MOSAIC staff. And so now over to you, Wendy, to introduce our 3 recipients for the award.
Thanks, Julie. So let's get to the first award recipient. Our first award recipient is Badur Al-Bashi. So Badur is a Syrian refugee who arrived in Canada in 2016 from Turkey. She's pursuing her Bachelor of Science degree in chemistry at Simon Fraser University and hopes to eventually become a pharmacist. She's an active volunteer with the Muslim Food Bank, Option Organization, and she teaches children languages of Arabic and Quran. Now we have a video of Badur to present to you.
Actually, everything changed when it came to Canada. It's a new language, new people, and it's hard to say it in a few words. I'm an SFU student in chemistry program. To study in different language, that's the biggest difficulty that I'm facing now. Volunteering allows you to help each other, and helping each other give you very good feelings. I first started volunteering in Muslim Food Bank, like filling bags of sugar and flowers and hampers. Also, I did volunteering in pharmacy, in a Careville pharmacy, like to get idea about my dream career, and I like it a lot. When I was speechless when I get Dr. Chetty Award, and it makes me realize how many good people are around, and that can help me to continue my study journey. I'll use my knowledge and everything I learned during my study journey to help people and to give the best to the community, and I'll do my best and the better that I can.
Wonderful. Now I would like to invite Badur to actually speak with us.
Hello, everybody. Hi, I'm Badur. I'm glad to be here today to thank you all for supporting me and giving me this award, like this Dr. Chetty Awards. Like, it's really supporting, give me a very big support, and I would like to thank MOSAIC and everybody is helping me during my study journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Badur. All right, so now let's move on to the second recipient of the award. The second recipient of the award is Carmen Aldach Alala. Carmen is a Syrian refugee who arrived in Canada in 2016. She holds a bachelor's degree in French language and literature, which she completed in her home country. And she's now hoping to complete her education assistant diploma. Eventually, Carmen hopes to become a fully accredited teacher in BC. We now have a video of Carmen.
My name is Carmen and I'm from Damascus, Syria. I'm studying to become a teacher and more specifically an educational assistant. I learned a lot from this country. I took what is important for me and I kept from my own culture and what I want, and I give up what I feel it's not important for me. I strongly believe that despite the level of knowledge and education that the world is at nowadays, we still lack a lot. So education is always the best. I believe that with my education and more knowledgement, I could change the world's perspective around diversity and inclusion. To better learn and teach the new generation how to accept each other. I would talk here from my own experience and say, never give up and always be dedicated to your goals and dreams. Receiving Dr. Chetty Award gave me the hope and the encouragement to continue my career.
Wonderful. Now I would like to invite Carmen to speak with us.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us tonight, and I would like to give a quick thank for MOSAIC and everyone who help and support newcomers, and for recognizing our needs and obstacles during our journey when we arrive into a new country. To end, I would say I feel proud of being here in this country where diversities and inclusion is accepted, And I will be forever proud of my country, and I will make sure as well to be to make everyone who helped me being proud of me, and by being an effective member in the community through education. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen. And finally, but certainly not the least, is the third award recipient, Mia Rojas. Mia immigrated to Canada from the Philippines in 2016. She is pursuing her Bachelor of Science in Food, Nutrition, and Health from the University of British Columbia. Mia volunteers as a martial arts instructor for both children and adults. We now have a video of Mia for your viewing.
When I came to Canada, my life has changed in a way where I became a confident and capable person, because when I came here, I was very introverted and I was very reserved, and I wasn't really outgoing or willing to try a lot of stuff. So when I got introduced to different programs like martial arts and MOSAIC, I was able to put myself out there. I started teaching Taekwondo when my grandmaster offered me to teach some little classes or just take leadership within the class. And I really liked it, and I thought that I would be a good fit for the leadership team. So I took on more responsibilities, and in our Taekwondo school, we were always taught about the attitude of gratitude. So I thought, what better way to give back and teach others and inspire others to do what I love doing, which is Taekwondo. Receiving the Dr. Kes Scholarship Award really means a lot to me, because I will be able to pay my university fees and I don't have to rely on student loans as much. Well, I want to pursue biological sciences and eventually go into medicine. So I think taking a role as a scientist will allow me to help other people, inspire others, and also maybe contribute to the scientific community.
At this point, I'd like to invite Mia to speak with us.
Hello, everyone. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for the award. It really means a lot to me, and I want to congratulate the other recipients as well. Yeah, thank you. I don't have much to say, sorry.
That's quite all right. Thank you.
So at this point, I'd just like to give my very, very warm congratulations to all these very, very worthy recipients. It's a wonderful credit to you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jillian. Thank you to you and your family for establishing this much needed award. And congratulations to all three amazing recipients of the Dr. Kes Chetty Education Award. We are so proud of you, and we are looking forward to hearing all the amazing stories about your achievements in the upcoming years. And now it's time to move to our second award of the evening. I would like to invite the current chair of the MOSAIC Board of Directors, Chris Duff, to present the next award, the Eob Ginaizgi Scholarship Award.
Thank you, Olga. I'd first of all just like to say a few words about Eob, somebody I worked with for probably 4 or 5 years, something like that. Eob came as a refugee more than 25 years ago, and he served MOSAIC for a number of years. He was the executive director up until 2 years ago, so he put in 17 years in that. And I think one of the things we have to remember about Eob is when he joined MOSAIC, it was a very small organization with a much smaller geographic reach than it has now, a lot less employees, a lot less revenue. And he built that organization up considerably during the time he was here. So his contribution was really very major. So what the board of directors did then, they sought to recognize the achievements of EOB. So they established this award, and the award is presented to a female refugee for leadership development through education and training. And its intention is to inspire diversity in leadership in Canada. So for the award recipient this evening, whether her leadership was highlighted in a refugee camp or in Canada, or by mobilizing people anywhere in the world, this scholarship will support her future leadership aspirations. So I just have a few things to say about Ayan Ishmael, the person who's been given the award. She was sponsored by the World University Service of Canada, 2016. She's been a very good role model for young people at SFU, and has been a peer mentor and has worked right across campus with her peers and others, and directly supported countless refugee students and empowered many other refugee women. So I think we're all very proud of her, certainly at SFU, in terms of the what she's been able to achieve there. And she's obviously been involved in some major activities like World Refugee, Black History Month, and anti-racism and advocacy workshops, conferences, you name it. Right now, she will be going on to pursue a graduate degree in migration and diaspora studies at Carleton in Ottawa. And I guess that would have started just a little while ago in September. So with that introduction, then I'd like to invite Ayan to come forward and deliver a little message this evening. Ayan.
Hello everyone. Salam alaikum. Iska warama. Magaigu wa Ayan. My name is Ayan and I'm joining you from the stolen and occupied territories of the Kikayet First Nations, which is colonially known as New Westminster. Thank you for the award. Eob is somebody I've always looked up to, and the shared journey, and like, you know, he came through the same program that I came through is just such a personal relationship for me, which I'm really, really excited and happy that I got to receive an award in his name. And I'm really thankful for the folks who chose me, and yeah, really thankful. And congrats to everyone else as well.
Thank you very much, Ayan.
Congratulations, Ayan, and thank you very much, Chris. And now it's time to move to the third award of the evening, the Anne and Joanne Sobkov Scholarship Award. And I would like to invite the award representative, Carlo Bognar, a friend and a work colleague of Joanne Sobkov, to speak about this award.
Thank you very much, Olga. As Olga said, I'm a friend and a work colleague of Joanne. We were friends and colleagues for about 35 years. As part of her final wishes, Joanne expressed a desire to set up a bursary in honor of her mother, Anne Sobkov. Anne was the matriarch of a prairie family. She valued hard work and education and social justice, believed in life and dignity of all people, value of community and family, and participating in those activities and those events. By all accounts, Anne did a great job of raising her family. I didn't ever have the pleasure of meeting her, but there were only good reviews as far as I heard. Because of her interest in education, her emphasis on education, Anne would have been very pleased with Joanne's first career choice, which was as a high school teacher. She only taught for several years around various high schools in the prairies before she found her way to work for the government of Canada. Joanne went to Ottawa, where she worked for Employment and Immigration Canada and had a very long career there. Her area of specialty was career development, which is the lifelong process that we all go through, managing our learning, our work, our transitions between our jobs, and so on. And career counseling, helping people to match their interests and their skills and their abilities with what's going on out in the labor market, is one sort of sub area of career development. Later in her career, Joanne was involved in projects that identified barriers that immigrants and refugees experience in establishing their new careers in Canada. And Joanne had a particular interest in the barriers that were presented to refugees, especially in regulated occupations. So you can see from that a few threads that come together. In Joanne and Anne's honor, we've established an award directed towards refugees who are pursuing careers in helping professions. And by helping professions, we mean any profession where primarily there's interaction between people, sort of at the face-to-face level. So this bursary has an award on, an emphasis on education, healthcare, career counseling, social work, and so on, and is meant to encourage refugees by providing financial assistance in secondary, post-secondary education to pursue those careers. I note today that next week will be the first year anniversary of Joanne's passing. And so I want to express special thanks to the Vancouver Foundation and MOSAIC for helping us to get this bursary up and running so quickly. And so now I'll pass the torch back to Olga to talk a little bit about the award recipient for this year.
Thank you so much, Carol. Thank you for sharing this story about Anne and Joanne, their caring and their contributions. When one enters Canada as a refugee, you know they're seeking the same as all of us, the ability to have life in freedom and peace. At the same time, many refugees are forced to leave family members behind, where the danger is still real and continues. Tonight's winner, Diola, has asked us not to disclose their identity further or show them on camera. But I understand that I would like to still say a few words of appreciation. So I would like to invite Diola to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Diola, and out of respect for Anne and Joanne Sobok, my camera is back on. I will put it off when I have finished speaking. So it's an honor to be chosen as a recipient of the 2020 Anne and Joanne Sobok Scholarship Award. As a new immigrant trying to find my feet in Canada, I must commend the commitment of Canada and MOSAIC and other social service organizations for being instrumental to our settlement in Canada. These organizations have supported me and other immigrants and have continually supported us, showing us such great support and commitment to new immigrants and refugee claimants and their families via their very program. I was a lawyer back home from Nigeria, and like every professional coming into Canada, we're required to recertify, and this scholarship will help me start out on that journey of recertifying professionally. Recertification is quite an expensive journey to embark on, but this award will help me, and I will put it to good use, and I will remember to pay forward. Thank you so much, and I'm happy. Congratulations to all the recipients, and I'm sorry about Joanne's loss, and I heard you say it's her 1-year anniversary. I wish her family all the comfort. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Diola, and congratulations on the award. And thank you so much for being here and for joining us tonight in a way that you feel safe. I want you to know that we are so touched by your presence and your message tonight.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And now it's time to move to the fourth award of the evening. And I would like to invite the MOSAIC Director of Employment Services, Michael Radano, to present the Employer Recognition Award.
Well, thank you so much, Olga. Good evening. Bonsoir, messieurs, dames. My name is Michael Radano, as Olga already mentioned. I'm the Director of Employment, Language, and Social Enterprise at MOSAIC. As you know, employers play an important role in the integration process of newcomers. When we have a job, it doesn't only allow us to pay our bills, but it also gives us a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose. And a lot of people without a job feel like they haven't accomplished what they set out to do. So for that, it gives me great pleasure to present MOSAIC's Employer Award for 2020 to IKEA. So IKEA has been partnering with MOSAIC for more than 2 years. IKEA has hired many of our clients. IKEA is committed to multiculturalism, equity, and inclusion. It's been great to see that our relationship with IKEA has evolved over time to one where IKEA has started to invest in our cause and in the communities that we serve. Some examples of IKEA's social investment include hosting dinners for refugee families at multiple locations. And as you can see from some of the pictures there, they had quite a bit of fun doing so. The families enjoyed themselves. And another example of IKEA's commitment to our sector and our clients is shown on the next slide, where IKEA donated $100,000 worth in kind of items such as children wares, bathroom and kitchen items. For those who know our location at MOSAIC, we have a room called a community room. The room was so full of the iconic blue bags from IKEA. It took us a little while, especially given the current condition of the pandemic. It took us a little while to give a lot of these items away. So we're very grateful to IKEA for that, and our clients are grateful as well. So without further delay, I'll invite CEO Chen, who's the West Market Area People and Culture Manager at IKEA, to accept the award and to say a few words.
Thank you, Michael. Look at this. This is wonderful. Thank you so much for the recognition, or tack, as we say it in Swedish. I'm super delighted to join you this evening and feel humbled to be amongst today's award recipients and to hear all the stories that I've heard tonight. And especially a big congratulations to the participants and who have received the Education Award and the Scholarship Award tonight. Our relationship with MOSAIC team is truly valued, and we take great pride in the initiatives that we worked on together. At IKEA Canada, we are certainly proud to foster a diverse and inclusive work environment, as you had mentioned a few minutes ago, Michael, where individual differences are celebrated. This means growing our business by providing opportunities for the many, including those with lived refugee experiences and newcomers and other vulnerable groups in our society. Helping refugees and newcomers is the right thing to do for our business. It strengthens our business. It provides IKEA the possibility to discover, recruit new talent, expand our diverse coworker base, and contribute to our role in creating a positive impact in our local community. Our partnership with MOSAIC began, as you mentioned, a couple of years ago. We want and have the ambition to become a leader in equity, diversity, and inclusion. We look forward to continuing this relationship, making meaningful and measurable change within our organization and as well in our industry and in our society as a whole. It is my privilege and my honor to be accepting this for our 3 units within the BC market. So we have our Customer Distribution Center, IKEA Richmond, and IKEA Coquitlam. And also at IKEA, we say, to a glorious future, much remains to be done. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sio.
Thank you so much, Sio, and congratulations to IKEA Canada. You truly exemplify what it means to be an employer of choice and a very worthy recipient of this recognition award. We are very lucky to have you as a partner.
Thank you.
And now it's time to approach the final award for this evening, the MOSAIC Human Rights. And I would like to invite George Somerville, the Vice Chair of the MOSAIC's Board of Directors, to join us now for the final award and present the final award.
Thank you very much, Olga. And I find it a very fortunate coincidence that all of us in the MOSAIC family are tonight able to present the MOSAIC Human Rights Award for 2020. It's especially significant, I think, because in 2 days, the world will celebrate the 75th anniversary of the adoption of the Charter of the United Nations. On October the 24th, 1945, Canada and the 49 other founding nations of the UN adopted the Charter following 6 years of what they termed the scourge of war, in which tens of millions of people died. In about 30 words, the second paragraph of the preamble to the Charter, the drafters of that document spelled out exactly what the founding nations intended. They were determined, they said, to reaffirm faith in fundamental human rights, in the dignity and the worth of the human person, in the equal rights of men and women, and of nations large and small. They go on to call for conditions in which justice, treaties, and international law will be maintained and respected. I think the values and ideals expressed in that charter are as valid today as they were 75 years ago in 1945, which brings us to today, and which is why we honor and acknowledge individuals and organizations who support and advocate for the human rights of those, such as refugees, who are less able to protect themselves. So in this regard, we're thrilled to award the MOSAIC Human Rights Award for 2020 to Laurie Cooper. I'm going to keep this very short because we're fortunate to be joined by somebody who has personally benefited from Laurie's goodwill as a refugee. But Laurie has advocated, let me say, for refugees at the local, provincial, and national levels within Canada. And that's over many, many years. She's also a very accomplished public relations expert, and she's also formerly a journalist. So I'm going to call on the man who has experienced and benefited from Laurie's goodwill. He has been known to some of us as #TheManAtTheAirport. That may give you a hint about who he is. But I'm going to go over to you, Hassan Al-Kontar. Hassan is a former refugee from Syria who has been here now in Canada for a while. Hassan, over to you.
Thank you, George. Good evening, everyone, and congratulations for all the award recipients. It's about time to bring some spots and lights to one of the heroes behind the scenes, and I mean by that, Laurie Cooper. I call her so many names. For me, she is Godmother, 007, but she is also Face of Hope. I become part of Laurie's life since almost 3 years now. She stood by me, she supported me, she believed in my right of being a human being, to live in peace and dignity, to have rights. She never abandoned me, she never left me alone. She opened her house for me once I arrived to Canada. She is a very valued member of my family, even in Syria. I cannot think of anyone else who deserves this award more than Laurie Cooper. I thank her for all the good job, for the pure golden humanitarian heart she has. And I will ask her to keep doing the good things that she is doing. She is someone who has a lot of choices in life, yet she decided to to dedicate her life for helping homeless and powerless people around the world. Without any further delays, ladies and gentlemen, Lori Cooper.
Thank you very much, Hassan, and thank you so much to MOSAIC. And George, thank you for your kind words. And congratulations to all the other award recipients. I figured this is sort of my Oscar moment, so I'm going to thank a lot of people. I think gratitude's important. And I kind of want to talk about thanking the people that have helped me along the way, and also highlighting how we can put a human face on tragedy and what we as individuals can do. So first of all, thank you so much to Iris Challoner of MOSAIC. In the very beginning, the very early days, Iris was my mentor. She taught me how to fill out the refugee sponsorship forms. And then she very bravely supported me every time I had a crazy idea, like, hey, let's sponsor 200 refugees from Manus and Nauru. And she and Salim backed me up, and we created Operation Not Forgotten, which MOSAIC is taking the lead on now and doing very successfully. I should also mention Pat Ratcliffe, who is Iris's very right-hand person and is also carrying the torch high that I passed on to them after starting Operation Not Forgotten. Sherman and Olga, I really appreciate that at the highest level, MOSAIC has supported my efforts and has always been there for me. I think it's really important too, I want to mention Shaukat Hassan from the BC Muslim Association. The BC Muslim Association has worked very closely with MOSAIC over the years, and every time I have been in trouble and needed some sponsorship spaces, Shaukat has just stepped up. I reached out to him and said, there's this young man who's living in an airport, and I've got this crazy idea that we could sponsor him. And Shaukat said, sure, you've got a sponsorship space if that's what you need. And so without him, Hassan would not have arrived in Canada. I wanted to just say, I only really began this journey 5 years ago. Prior to that, I had an ordinary life. I worked in journalism, and then I worked in public relations. And it was September 2015 when we all saw that image of the little boy on the beach, and my heart just broke. But what really hit me was when I realized that he had family in Vancouver, and I lived in Deep Cove in North Vancouver at the time. And when I looked out my kitchen window, I could see the area where his family, his Canadian family members lived. And all of a sudden it was in my backyard. And in talking with two of my dearest friends, Ariane and Ellen in Deep Cove, we thought, what would we do if thousands of people started washing up on the beaches of Deep Cove? And it suddenly just made it very real to us. And it was like it was in our backyard. So a few months later, the three of us ended up traveling to Lesbos, Greece, where over the first year of the European refugee crisis, over 800,000 refugees passed through that island on their way to Europe. And we didn't have any background. We didn't know what we could do, but we were moms. We were not afraid of hard work. We were willing to do whatever it took to help. And so we just jumped in. That experience changed my life because the people that I met there became real individuals to me and not just numbers. The time that I traveled to Greece, there were about 62 million displaced people around the world. Now there are 79.5. That's a huge increase in just 5 years. And it's only going to get worse as we see more environmental change forcing people to leave their countries. So when I went to Greece the first time, I met amazing people, the refugees. Most of them were families, 2 and 3 generations, who were really fleeing to protect their children. And as I came to know these people, I just realized how incredibly brave and gracious they were. And at the same time, the volunteers, young people from around the world just showed up in Greece to help these people. And they just showed up and said, how can I help? And I thought, okay, there's hope for the world if these are the young people. It's really easy. Most of you listening are probably people who work in a helping capacity in some way. You're helping people. It can be overwhelming. It can be exhausting. You think, how can I ever help everybody? And that's how I felt on my first trip to Greece. I've subsequently done 3 more, but there were thousands of people arriving on the beaches every day. And I thought, every now and then I'd catch my breath and think, how can I help? I can't help. I'm just one person. And then I would stop and say, I can help the person in front of me. And that has been my philosophy all the way along, is help the person who's in front of me. And when you take those numbers, that's 79 million, and break it down to an individual, each person has a story, and they have family, and they have dreams. And if we can interact at that level. So I'll just share a couple of stories of some individuals, both refugees and volunteers, very briefly, I promise. I know we all want to go on to the rest of our evening. One young man, his name's Ali, a nurse from Damascus. He Googled, this is in late 2015, or no, it was early 2016. He Googled Canada refugees and came up with my name. And he said, I would like you to help me to come to Canada. And I just want to say that young man, he was living in Zatri, the refugee camp in Jordan. The first thing he did when he arrived at the refugee camp was show up to Médecins Sans Frontières and say, I'm a nurse, how can I help? He volunteered with MSF for 5 years while he was in that camp. He is now in Duncan, BC, and he has done his Care Aid program, and he's working towards getting his nursing back. So there's an individual, he met and married a young woman while he was in Zatri. They have 2 young children. They are thriving in Duncan. Another young woman I met, her name was Maram, 10 years old. First day I arrived at a refugee camp in a horrific refugee camp in Greece called Ritsona. It was a farmer's field that had been dug up, and it was just muddy and filthy, and there was no running water, and there were snakes and there were rats. And this little girl slipped her hand into mine and followed me around for the first 2 days. Then one day she dragged me over to meet her mother, who spoke no English. This woman had left Syria with 4 daughters. Her husband had been killed in a bombing. She had 4 daughters, one of whom had a brain injury, and she was doing whatever she could to get her daughters to safety. I'm glad to say that Maram and her family are now in Switzerland. And again, the girls are thriving. Everyone's doing really well. Then on the other side of the ocean here, we've got people like Andrew Brower. He's a lawyer, refugee lawyer, and you think, well, big deal. So helping refugees is his job. But he mostly deals with refugees who are here in Canada who have claims that they need to address with immigration. But he heard me on the radio talking about Hassan's situation in April of 2018. And he contacted me and said, how can I help? And this guy worked for 7 months, totally pro bono. And he's the one that ultimately saved Hassan when he ended up in jail at the very end. Finally, I just have to make a shout out to a woman who herself came to Canada, not as a refugee, although she could have, because she came from Serbia. And she's trained as a chemist. But when the refugee crisis became, at the forefront in 2015, Vanya just stepped up and tried to figure out how to help. And she has been one of my biggest supports through this whole thing. And she has become the surrogate mother to dozens, if not hundreds, of refugees and newcomers. And it's people like her who has no background, but she just has a heart and she wants to help. And finally, I should say my family's been amazing. My husband, when I first started doing this, he kind of looked at me and he said, I don't really understand why you're doing this, but it seems really important to you. So go for it. I've got your back. So my family has had my back for the past 5 years. And finally, I want to say I had the great good fortune to work with Fairmont Hotels to bring a number of young people to Whistler. And what we did, the hotel made job offers. I did private sponsorships, and we brought a total of 12 young people. And I just want to show quickly, if I can, these are some of the young people that the first arrivals, the first 5 that arrived. They are all thriving, doing really well. And whenever I have a bad day and I think things aren't going well, I just look at these smiling faces and I look at how they're thriving. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be able to help. So thank you so much for this award. You know that no one does this looking for awards, but it's nice. So thank you very much. And congratulations to all the other award recipients.
Thank you so much, Lori. Thank you for your kind words, your stories, I think, and your message touched everyone here tonight. And it's just incredible the work you do and the difference you make in people's lives. So congratulations on the award. You so well deserve this award. You are an inspiration to us all. Thank you. And now we are almost at the end of tonight's event. First, I would like to call back Chris Duff, the chair of our board, to make a few closing remarks. And after that, we have a special video message that we would like to play for you.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Olga and her team to doing a really bang-up job technically this evening to put this event together. It's very, very difficult, as we all know, trying to stage events and stage events that have meaning. And I think for me, what's been the big feature this evening is that the individual award recipients, sure, they've told us a good story. They've impressed us, they've inspired us. But I thought it was particularly important this evening that I congratulate again Laurie Cooper for being here tonight, because I've been around at MOSAIC for a while. I've been to many awards ceremonies. I've seen many people get the Human Rights Award. But I have to say, Laurie, this evening, you know, you really inspired more than any that I've seen come before you. And I think really the inspiration I felt was, I really felt like getting my flag up when I was listening to you tonight. And I thought, well, if more people were like Laurie, we would have a better society, would be more inclusive, it would be a better place. So congratulations, Laurie. And let's have more like you, and let's have more people like you who are prepared to put those men in Whistler and support them. And I'm sure they love you. We all love you too. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you very much, Chris. And we will end tonight with a special pre-recorded message from the Honorable Marco Mendicino, the Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada.
Good evening. I'm Marco Mendicino, Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship. Je présente mes sincères félicitations à tous les récipiendaires de prix MOSAIC de cette année. I'm very sorry we can't celebrate this occasion together in person, but we're finding other ways to stay connected on special occasions. 2020 has been a challenging year for all of us, yet we see through this year's MOSAIC Award recipients the resilience and shining example of those who have persevered and who are making a difference in your communities. MOSAIC has a long and impressive history of delivering settlement support services for immigrants, and we cannot tell you how grateful we are for your contributions. IRCC is proud to partner with you on a number of projects this year, such as Moving Ahead, Career Paths, I Belong, and many more. L'immigration n'est pas seulement un élément important de l'histoire du Canada, c'est la clé de notre succès futur. Je suis particulièrement encouragé par la reconnaissance par MOSAIC des jeunes réfugiés et immigrants et par le soutien à leur formation continue. The future is bright. We each have a part to play in making Canada the diverse and welcoming place we are all so proud to call home. And I just want to say, congratulations. We could not be more proud of you. Merci.
Well, thank you so much, Minister, for your inspirational words. And this is a wrap. This is the end of our first ever virtual awards event. Thank you so much for being part of it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for this inspirational event. I would like to ask all award recipients to stay behind on Zoom so we can take some screenshots. And we will be sharing the highlights from tonight's event on social media. And we encourage you to help us amplify what you experienced tonight and celebrate the award recipients. Please tag us and use our hashtag as you see on our screen now. Thank you very much. Good night. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Goodbye.